I woke up last Tuesday to find bars on my bedroom window, not on the outside to keep intruders out, on the inside to keep me in. They're thick metal bars with a padlock, and the key is missing. Mom, why are there bars on my window? She smiled that strange, tight smile she's been wearing lately. For your protection, sweetie. Protection from what? The bars are on the inside. I can't get out. Exactly. You're safe now. You can't leave during the night. Why would I leave during the night? I'm asleep. Not always, my father said from the doorway. Not always. That night, I tried to open my bedroom door. Locked. From the outside. I'm 19 years old, a college student, living in my parents' house for the summer, and I've just realized I'm a prisoner. What I discovered about why they're trapping me would reveal a truth so terrifying I wished I'd never asked. Stay with me, because this story is about the night I learned what my parents have been protecting me from, and what I've been doing in my sleep. Before we continue, if you've ever felt trapped by your own family, hit that subscribe button right now. Your support means everything to me. And comment below, has anyone ever locked you in for reasons they claimed were for your safety? Let's talk about it. Now, back to my story. My name is Natalie Foster. I'm 19 years old, home for the summer after my freshman year at college. I go to school in California, about 8 hours from my parents' house in Oregon. I was looking forward to a relaxing summer before sophomore year, but things have been weird since I got home. My parents seem different, nervous. They watch me constantly, ask me how I'm feeling multiple times a day. I'm fine, Mom. Why do you keep asking? Just making sure, honey. Just making sure. 2 weeks ago, my father installed a heavy-duty lock on my bedroom door, on the outside. Why are you putting a lock on my door? Security. The house has been having some break-in issues in the neighborhood. But the lock is on the outside. That doesn't protect me from intruders. That locks me in. Just trust us, Natalie. I didn't think much of it. Maybe they wanted to secure my room when I wasn't home. Strange, but not alarming. Then last Tuesday, I woke up to the sound of drilling. I opened my eyes to find my father installing metal bars across my window, from the inside. Dad, what are you doing? He jumped, startled. Oh, you're awake. Go back to sleep, honey. You're putting bars on my window. Just a precaution. A precaution against what? Those bars are on the inside. They don't keep people out. They keep me in. Natalie, please, just trust us. This is important. He finished installing the bars. Thick metal, impossible to bend or break, with a padlock securing them. Where's the key? I asked. Your mother and I will keep it, for safety. Dad, this is crazy. You're trapping me in my room. We're protecting you. There's a difference. After he left, I examined the bars. Professional installation, heavy-duty lock. No way to remove them without the key. I tried my bedroom door, locked from the outside. I was trapped. That night at dinner, I confronted both my parents. You can't lock me in my room. I'm 19 years old. That's illegal. It's for your own good, my mother said, not meeting my eyes. How is trapping me in my room for my own good? You don't understand what's at stake, my father said. Then explain it to me. They looked at each other. That look, the one that said they were keeping secrets. We will, soon. But for now, you need to stay in your room at night. What if there's a fire? I can't get out. We'll unlock the door every morning, my mother promised, and we installed a fire alarm directly in your room. If there's any danger, we'll get you out. This is insane. We know it seems that way, but please, Natalie, trust us. We're doing this because we love you. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the barred window. What were they protecting me from? Or worse, what were they protecting others from? Around 11 p.m., I heard the lock on my door click, the sound of a key turning. My door was being locked from the outside. I got up and tried the handle. Secured. I was locked in for the night. I went to the window. The bars were solid. No way to escape. I pulled out my phone to call my best friend Maya, but I had no service. They'd installed a signal jammer in my room. I was completely isolated. I tried to sleep, but couldn't. Around 2 a.m., I heard footsteps outside my door. Whispers. Are you sure this will hold? It has to. We can't risk another incident. Another incident? What incident? The next morning, I heard the lock click open. I waited a few minutes, then opened my door. My parents were in the kitchen, looking exhausted. "Did you stay up all night outside my door?" They exchanged a glance. "We wanted to make sure you were safe." "Safe from what?" "Finish your breakfast. We'll talk later." But they never did talk. They just kept deflecting, changing the subject, avoiding my questions. So I started investigating on my own. While my parents were at work, I searched the house, looking for clues about what they were so afraid of. In my father's home office, I found a folder labeled Natalie Medical. Inside were documents from doctors I'd never heard of, neurologists, sleep specialists, psychiatrists, reports from when I was 16, 3 years ago. Patient exhibits signs of parasomnia, specifically sleepwalking with violent episodes, has injured herself and others during sleep, requires monitoring and possible medication. I felt cold. Sleepwalking? Violent episodes? I kept reading. More reports, more incidents. Apparently when I was 16, I'd sleepwalked multiple times. During one episode, I'd attacked my mother. During another, I'd tried to leave the house in the middle of the night. The final report recommended environmental controls to prevent patient from harming herself or others during sleep episodes. Environmental controls, like bars on windows, locks on doors. I sat back trying to remember any of this, but I had no memory of sleepwalking, no memory of being violent, nothing. I kept searching and found more files, recent ones, reports from my college. Apparently, I'd been sleepwalking there too. My roommate had reported it to campus health. They'd contacted my parents. Patient sleepwalking has intensified, episodes occurring 3 to 4 times per week. Patient has no memory of episodes. Recommend returning home for summer for medical evaluation and safety monitoring. That's why they wanted me home, not for a nice family summer, but to lock me up and monitor me. I felt betrayed, but also scared. Was I really doing these things in my sleep? That night, I decided to stay awake, to see if I really sleepwalked. I set up my phone to record, propped it on my dresser, angled toward my bed. Then I lay down, pretending to sleep, but staying conscious. Around 11 p.m., I heard the lock click, my parents securing me in for the night. I waited, watching, listening. Around 1 a.m., I started feeling strange, heavy, like something was pulling me down. I tried to fight it, tried to stay awake, but the feeling was overwhelming. My eyes closed. And then, nothing. I woke up the next morning sprawled on the floor, not in my bed, on the floor near the window. My hands were bleeding, scraped raw, like I'd been clawing at something. The window bars had deep scratch marks, fresh ones. I scrambled for my phone, pulled up the video. What I saw made my blood run cold. Around 2 a.m., I'd sat up in bed, eyes open but empty. I'd gotten up and walked to the window. Then I'd started pulling at the bars, clawing, yanking, desperately trying to get out. For over an hour, I'd fought with those bars, hitting them, pulling them, screaming silently with my mouth open but no sound coming out. Finally, I'd collapsed on the floor. And that's where I woke up. I watched the video 3 times, unable to believe it. That was me. But it wasn't me. I had no memory of any of it. My parents knocked on the door around 8 a.m. "Natalie, are you awake?" I opened the door. They saw my hands immediately. "Oh no," my mother whispered. "It happened again." "You knew," I said. "You knew this would happen." "That's why we installed the bars," my father said, "to keep you safe." "Safe from what? Where am I trying to go?" They led me downstairs. We sat in the living room. "We need to tell you everything," my mother said. "We should have told you years ago." "Tell me what?" "When you were 16, you started sleepwalking. At first, it was harmless. You'd wander the house. We'd guide you back to bed. But then it got worse," my father continued. "You started trying to leave. We'd find you at the front door, in the garage. Once we found you a block away in your pajamas." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because you had no memory of it, and the doctor said that telling you might make it worse. That knowledge of the episodes could create anxiety and increase their frequency." "What changed? Why tell me now?" My parents looked at each other. Because last summer, before you went to college, something happened. Something we couldn't hide anymore." My mother took a deep breath. "Last July, you sleepwalked out of the house. We didn't hear you leave. By the time we realized you were gone, it was 3 a.m. We searched everywhere," my father said. "Called the police, drove around the neighborhood. You were just gone." "Where did I go?" "We found you 6 hours later, at dawn. You were 15 miles away, standing in the middle of a highway." I felt sick. "What?" "You were in the center lane of Highway 101, cars swerving around you. You were just standing there, not moving, not responding." "Oh my God." "A police officer stopped traffic and got you off the road. When we arrived, you were still asleep, standing with your eyes open, but completely unconscious." "What happened when I woke up?" "You didn't remember anything. You were confused about where you were, how you got there. You had no memory of leaving the house." My mother started crying. "We almost lost you that night. If that police officer hadn't been there, if a car had hit you." After that, we consulted every specialist we could find: sleep doctors, neurologists, psychiatrists, everyone. "What did they say?" "That you have a severe form of sleepwalking disorder, something called sleep driving behavior, where people perform complex actions while asleep." "But I don't drive in my sleep." "No, you walk, for miles, with purpose, like you're trying to get somewhere specific." "Where?" "We don't know, but it's always the same direction. North. You always head north." "Why north?" "We don't know, but every time you sleepwalk, you try to go north. We've documented it, every episode. You're always trying to leave and go north." I sat with this information, trying to process it. "The doctors recommended medication," my father said. "Strong sedatives to keep you from entering the sleep stage where the sleepwalking occurs. You took them for a year." "I don't remember taking any medication. That's because we put it in your food. We didn't want you to know. Didn't want you to feel like there was something wrong with you." "You drugged me without my knowledge?" "We were trying to help you," my mother said. "And it worked. For a year you didn't sleepwalk at all. So we thought maybe you'd outgrown it." "But I didn't." "No. When you went to college, off the medication, it came back. Your roommate reported it to Campus Health. They contacted us, and we knew we needed to get you home. So you could lock me up." "So we could keep you safe," my father corrected, "until we figure out how to stop this permanently." Over the next week, I stayed locked in my room every night, my parents watching, monitoring, recording. Every night, like clockwork, I'd sleepwalk. Try to escape, claw at the bars, fight the locks, and every morning, I'd wake with no memory. I started researching sleepwalking disorders online, looking for answers. Most sources said sleepwalking was caused by stress, sleep deprivation, or medication side effects. But mine was different. Mine was purposeful. I was trying to get somewhere. One night I had an idea. Before falling asleep, I wrote on my arm with a marker, "Where are you going?" Maybe my sleeping self could answer questions my waking self couldn't. The next morning, I woke up on the floor again, my hands bloody from clawing at the bars, but on my arm, below my question, was another message, written in my handwriting, but not by me. Home. I stared at it. Home? But I was home. Unless my sleeping self thought home was somewhere else. I showed my parents the message. "Home," my mother whispered. "She thinks home is somewhere else." "What does that mean?" I asked. My parents looked at each other, that look again. "There's something else we haven't told you," my father said. "What now?" "You weren't born in Oregon. We moved here when you were 5 years old." "Moved from where?" "Alaska, a small town called Barrow, about as far north as you can go in the United States." I felt chills. "North? I'm always trying to go north." "Yes, we think your sleepwalking is trying to take you back there." "Why? What happened in Alaska?" "We don't fully know, but you were different there. You'd have these episodes even as a small child. You'd walk outside in the middle of the night, stand in the snow, stare north. In Alaska, there's nothing but ice and ocean to the north, just the Arctic. We thought maybe the cold was affecting you, that moving south to a warmer climate would help. Did it? For a while. The episodes stopped when we moved here. You seemed normal, happy. But then when you turned 16, they came back. Why? We don't know. But we think it has something to do with Alaska, with whatever was calling to you there. I felt like I was in a nightmare. This sounds insane. You're telling me something in Alaska is calling to me in my sleep? We know how it sounds, my mother said, but we've exhausted every medical explanation, and now we're left with this. What do we do? We're arranging for you to see a specialist, Dr. Helena Cross. She studies unusual sleep disorders, cases like yours that don't fit normal patterns. When? Next week. She's flying in from Seattle. She wants to observe you during a sleep episode. Dr. Cross arrived the following Tuesday. She was in her 50s, professional with kind eyes. She set up equipment in my room, cameras, brain monitors, heart rate sensors. I'm going to record everything tonight, she explained. Brain activity, movement, everything. I need to understand what's happening when you sleepwalk. That night, I went to bed with electrodes attached to my head. Dr. Cross, my parents, and a nurse monitored from a laptop outside my room. I fell asleep around 11 p.m. According to the reports I read the next morning, this is what happened. At 1:47 a.m., my brain entered an unusual state. Not quite asleep, not quite awake. Something in between. I sat up, opened my eyes, got out of bed. I walked to the window and pressed my hands against the bars. Then I started speaking. Dr. Cross's notes. Patient speaking in unknown language, possibly Inupiaq, indigenous Alaskan language. Repeating phrase over and over, Uvanga Kugumnut Otaramut. Translated, I must go home. I spoke this language for over an hour, a language I'd never learned, never studied. Then I collapsed. The next morning, Dr. Cross showed me the recording. I watched myself speak words I didn't understand, in a language I didn't know. How is this possible? I asked. I have a theory, Dr. Cross said, but you're not going to like it. Tell me. I think you were imprinted, as a young child in Alaska, by something or someone, and that imprinting is calling you back. Imprinted by what? That's what we need to find out, but I think the answer is in Barrow, in whatever happened to you there before you moved away. She looked at my parents. You need to take her back. Let her go to Alaska, see what happens. Absolutely not, my mother said. We moved away to protect her. But you didn't protect her. You just delayed this. Whatever is calling to her, it's getting stronger. Soon, the bars and locks won't be enough. She'll find a way, and it might kill her trying. What are you suggesting? Take her to Barrow. Let her go north. See what she's looking for. It might be the only way to break this cycle. It took 2 weeks to convince my parents. But finally, they agreed. We flew to Alaska, drove to Barrow, the northernmost city in the United States. As we got closer, I felt different, calmer, like something inside me was settling. We checked into a hotel. That night, my parents didn't lock my door. We need to see what you'll do, Dr. Cross said. She'd come with us. If you sleepwalk here, we follow you. See where you go. That night, I fell asleep naturally. No bars, no locks, no restraints. At 2 a.m., I woke up, or didn't wake up. I was in that strange sleep state again. I got out of bed, walked out of the hotel, and started walking north. My parents and Dr. Cross followed at a distance. I walked for miles, through the town, past the buildings, to the edge where the land meets the Arctic Ocean. I stood on the shore, staring north, speaking that language again. Then slowly, I sat down in the snow, and I woke up. Really woke up. I looked around, confused. Where am I? Dr. Cross approached slowly. You're in Barrow. You sleepwalked here. Do you remember anything? I thought about it, and for the first time, I did remember. Fragments. There was a woman. When I was little, she used to take me to the ocean, Teach me words. Tell me stories about the ice." "Who was she?" "I don't know, but she said I belonged to the North, that someday I'd come home." My mother gasped. "The nanny. We had a nanny in Barrow, an Inupiaq woman. She took care of you while we worked." "What happened to her?" "She disappeared. One day she just didn't show up. We never found out what happened to her. I think she imprinted something on me, some kind of connection to this place, and my sleeping mind has been trying to return ever since." Dr. Cross nodded. "That makes sense. Children are very susceptible to suggestion. If she told you this was home, your subconscious believed it." "So what do? I can't live in Alaska forever." "No. But now that you've come back, now that you've answered the call, it might stop. Your subconscious got what it wanted, to come home. That might be enough." And she was right. I haven't sleepwalked since that night in Barrow. Whatever was calling me, I answered it. And now I'm free. I'm Natalie Foster. I'm 19 years old. My parents put bars on my window to keep me from sleepwalking. But what I needed wasn't bars. It was answers. Sometimes the things that trap us are protecting us. And sometimes we need to face what scares us to be free. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support truly means the world to me. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I love reading every single one of them. Each comment inspires me to keep creating stories for you. See you next time.